Hello, welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'm here for the next hour for the last show of 2023. Yep, I'm going to be taking a couple weeks off here, so today will be the last show of the year. I'll see you back in January for more of this typical news and just kind of gameplay show that we do here. Good opportunity to just kind of have people stop by, ask some questions, see if I can get you some answers when I can. Hint when I can't. Be coy when I can't do that, I guess. Hello, Nimvin. Nice to see you here. I hear there's a plan to go mini-golfing or something for PAX East, by the way, and I hear you're involved. That sounds fine to me, so we'll see. Miss Elizabeth Bennett is my cat's name, Lizzie for short. Lizzie Bennett would be just fine. Alright, so what do we have going on right now? We're really just had our last patch, fingers crossed, of the year, this Wednesday, and you can find that information over on DDO.com. We do have the patch notes, not a lot really to talk about, just some bug fixes related to Hardcore, which is underway. That is one of the bullet points here. Hardcore 9 is continuing. And just really a few odds and ends that you can see. And I guess the one interesting bit to note is those set augments that were shown over on Lamania are now live with the Cauldron of Cadence and the Hut from Beyond. So those new augment set bonus augments that were talked about, someone asked about that on stream within the past couple of weeks, and it's cool to be able to see that get turned around. The other bit of news I wanted to mention before we get too far into the show is that there is a limited time opportunity to get this. This is available through December 20th. You can find more information, DDO.com. We'll make it easy for you. And these are the Mechanized Patrons Coffers, available in the DDO store through December 20th. And you can get information and see a few pics here on that. The way we do these coffers is there's a possibility they could come back in the future, but there's no real guarantees that we have any plan to do it anytime soon. So if you do want one of these coffers, my recommendation is to jump on it when you can. If you're watching this and you can't because it already ended, then there's a good chance at some point in the future we will bring these back when the time is right. But there's no cadence or real kind of guarantee on a specific offer coming back at a specific time. David Hasselhoff coffer next? I don't know. Probably not. Surfboard. Speedos. I don't think that's going to happen. Alright, well that sounds fun. Anyway, I'm down for some mini golf, Nymphin. We have to make the schedule work, but my agent will talk to your agent. And we'll let the paparazzi know. I'm kidding. So, the other bit of news I do want to mention here is a lot of you have been involved in this already, but in case you haven't, or you're kind of watching this over the holiday break perhaps, the Hardcore League continues. Season 9, it's a redux of Season 3. It started earlier this month, and it is going until 9 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, February 7th. So this is a little bit of an easier season. You can earn multiple lives. What'll happen basically is if you die, you'll be a soul stone, just like on the regular game worlds. You can recall out, res yourself. Be careful if you do that. But you'll have up to a couple of lives, and we've lowered the thresholds for some of the favor and things like that. It's also got a +4 level lockout rather than +2. Which, if I recall, was actually the case when it came out as Season 3. It also had +4 at that time as well. And a +20% Reaper XP boost. So a little bit of an easier Hardcore League season, but that's the way Season 3 was at that time, and so it makes sense for this season to do that. I would expect us to return to our normal, this time we're totally going to kill you, that we usually like to try to do. It's still not that easy. Still got to do it. So, Festivult is the other big thing. That's happening in-game. I'm going to be showing off something related to Festivult here in a bit that you ought to see. Because I don't understand what's going on with you folks. You. So I believe 2 weeks ago, when we last met, I told everyone to go get that Rezia cookie. And I'm not seeing that Rezia cookie on the forums. So we're going to be seeing that in-game here in just a second. And you'll see why I told you to get the Rezia cookie 2 weeks ago, before this thing went live. I'll also talk a little bit about where I was the past week. But anyway, Festivult's active in-game. Get your coins. And the coins appear through January 7th, and then you have an additional week to turn in whatever coins you have left to the Festivult Jester. The Jester then is available through the 14th. We have downtimes that 8th and 15th, and so we'll just go down. With the regular Game Worlds, is the exact timing on that, so. I think that's all I really need to say about Festivult this time around. I would mention we do have December deals. There's one happening right now, and we are doing new deals for next week, and actually I can check about the week following. Quick second here while I look up an answer to myself. Yes, so we have December deals essentially going through January 4th. So we have a new set of deals that will kick in on Thursday, December 21st, then another set that'll kick off on Thursday, December 28th. I can't tell you what it's going to be yet, but we've got some pretty deep discounts on things. We also have some other sales that'll be kicking off over towards the end of December, over the holiday period as well. So next week's going to be a pretty busy sales day. Let me put it to you that way. I think I can hint that. There's going to be a lot happening next Thursday. And I won't be doing a show until we next meet. So maybe keep an eye out for that. Alright, what else do we have here that I should talk about before I get in game and show off thing? I would mention this weekend we have 20% guild renown. I did a copy paste error. I don't know, like, I called it guild XP because that's the way it was listed in like a calendar thingy. And now I can't change it. Because the system I used to change it is currently undergoing maintenance. So we're just going to have to live with my error. So we teased Barb was the next archetype, but can we say if it is the only one coming out when it does? I don't think I really want to get into the when on various archetypes. I would say that it won't be the last archetype, I don't think, that we're doing. But I don't think, well... Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to leave it as it is right now. I don't think I can tease it anymore. I'm actually not even 100% sure on the answer to it. We might do things singular. They might kind of be an offer along with other things. They could be part of a group. It is true that for these first two waves we did two... Oh, hey, I've got a member of my party here.
Her help in finding the hidden illicit
How you doing? Alright, well anyway, so here we are going to show off a thing. Let me get to combat here first. Then I will explain why you want the Rezia Plain of Ice Jelly Cake.
The clearing is dotted with tents, but the pilgrims themselves are strangely nowhere to be seen. You step through the doors to find a massive chamber before you, yet the pilgrims are not here. The room is strangely empty, with offerings seemingly abandoned mid-prayer.
Alright, we're in the light here. We're in the light here. Actually, I think I... There we go. That way you can see me.
Leaving a singe mark. It's as if the lamplighter had simply dropped it in the midst of lighting. That's strange. Why would a silver flame priest just attack you out of nowhere?
Give me a sec here. My phone is going crazy. I need to figure out what's up. Alright. Sorry about that. Anyway, now's as good a time as any, huh? Rezia, plain of ice, jelly cake. Rot. Now let's attack.
You glimpse blue and silver as you enter the room. Suddenly, you're under attack.
You can use your regular abilities and stuff while you're doing it. This is just a visual overlay, essentially.
The fighting
I'm trying to get a good couple of the clip here. There we go. Oops. What if I not die? Alright. See, that's what happens when I'm paying too much attention to being a snow person. Not enough attention to anything else. Oh. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm not activating my activator. Okay, here we go. Sorry. There we go. That's what I get for the shot. Thankfully, I'm in a position I don't have to worry too much about it. All right, let's kick in. That will help. That will help. Oh.
This is not how you're meant to die, soldier.
All right. Let me just recall then. Yep. Yeah. All right, let me try that again. Of threes, which I like. All right, I don't have these. Get my spell point back. I'll be fine in here, I just gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Okay.
You have arrived at the Silver Flame Temple. You're here to look for your friend Selimus and gain her help in finding the hidden illicit lair. You step through the doors to find a massive chamber before you. Yet the pilgrims are not here. The room is strangely empty, with offerings seemingly abandoned mid-prayer. A solitary man stands off to the side, praying. You glimpse blue and silver as you enter the room. Suddenly, you're under attack. The fighting calms for a moment, and you hear a woman's voice calling to her allies.
Chosen of the flame, to me! Smite our enemies as we are commanded!
Combatants around her charge forward, emboldened by her words.
Alright. I'm getting the handle on it. This is harder than I expected, though. I haven't actually played this character in a while. I've been used to playing this on my Barbarian on Wayfinder. I guess you can see the difference there, can't you? This character is struggling a bit more. Yeah.
The fighting dies down, but then you hear whispers from somewhere inside the room. You take swings at a new surge of enemies, only to see their wounds closing up as they return your blows.
Alright, where is that healer? Mender's actually over there. Bye-bye. Hurry, tell us secrets. Anything important, huh? No, I don't know if I've really got any good secrets. So I can talk a little bit though. Sorry, I wanted to concentrate rather than just kind of die on stream here. So, let me do that. But I could just talk a little bit about what we have going on. So essentially, we had the patch this week, and that was the final planned patch of 2023. We're working on a patch for January that'll have really essentially whatever didn't make it into this week's patch in it. And then we'll be getting underway on the next preview cycle for the next update and things like that. Meanwhile, we've got really all teams at work looking back at 2023 and looking ahead to 2024. And so a lot of our planning is well underway at this point. And we'll eventually end up in something like a producer's letter that will hopefully publish, I would say, on around or before the anniversary. How's that for being vague? But at least, you know, likely to happen. The process of actually getting it out to the public can be fairly lengthy, but, okay, where's my other, there we go. If I can bring him down.
You hear another voice among the combatants. This one hushed and shaky. Hear my prayer. Should my allies fall, return them that they might defend this temple in unity.
Life collar is being worked on. Go. We have a wound under here? No, shield keeper. There's my shield keeper. Alright. Now, there's the other wound mender. Got you. So, we do have a lot of exciting things happening inside of the office, none of which I could tell you a single thing about at this point, and I apologize for that, but that's just the reality of it. It ain't ready yet to talk about. But we're doing a lot of our 2024 planning. You know, what worked this year, what should we try to do a little different? What are we actually going to do? Let's put it on paper and start scheduling it out and do all the work that's necessary to do that kind of thing. So that's what's up. That's what we're up to right now. And it's been a pretty exciting week as a result, because it's an exciting time to be inside of the office to really see these plans go from, you know what we should do, to this is what we're going to do. And it's a pretty exciting time. I myself, not this week, but last week,
Yet it's strange that they
the reason I wasn't on stream is because I was off in California in a series of meetings with the publisher. You know, we do interactions with them related to all sorts of things throughout the year. And so all the different studios flew out there for a week-long series of meetings. Again, looking back at 2023 and then looking ahead to 2024. And that's really what has been happening here last week. And that was really fun, too. That was really interesting. I got to see some cool things and hear some cool things and do a whole lot of work ahead of next year to make it hopefully as relatively as difficult and painful as possible. Yeah, I think, no, the opposite of that.
And then you are attacked by more Silver Flame followers.
Oh! Oh no. Well. Okay, which one? There we go. You can go. Ah! Come on, bring me back. Unconsciousness range, activate! Yep. There we are. Alright. May not have been pretty, but it got done. No, today is a pretty chill stream. It's our last stream of the year, and most of the news has been said, and most of the work can't be said. And, you know, honestly, we're getting ready for... We'll be around next week. People will be. But then everyone has pretty much got the next week after that off of work, and then we get back right away to our first sprint of 2024, and get cracking right away back at it, as it were. So... I think I already answered the question about when on the producer letter. I don't know. I would not want to hazard a guess. Any guess I might say will almost invariably make it not true. But I would say on or before the anniversary is a pretty safe bet. And if we can get it out earlier, we will. Last year we did January.
This room glitters with mirrors and a single glowing beacon. But before you can deal with this mechanism, you are once again thrown into the heat of battle.
Life collar is down. Shield member is down. Drop that. Drop that. That one pretty okay. No one ever's gonna comment that one okay, though. They're only gonna comment the times I die. Alright. See, occasionally I can kind of do something. Kinda. Let me go back. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. So the idea of having the expansion Redeemer as one NPC in, like, the Hall of Heroes is something that is a pretty good one. It's something we've talked about already. It's possible that that could happen in the future. I think that there, unfortunately, are some technological kind of... There's some stuff that's going to have to be done before something like that would be possible. But, in theory...
You hear a satisfying click from the direction of the sanctum.
I don't think I can use this again. No. It depends, Crash King, it depends a lot on the nature of the steed, because there's some steeds you don't actually want to have necessarily auto-deliver. For example, like hardcore steeds, you wouldn't want to have them auto-added to your stable because they wouldn't carry over to, you know, where they need to be. And so...
you hesitantly prepare yourself to fight her and the being controlling her.
But other steeds, so we had gone, I thought, mostly through the list and auto-applied all the steeds that made sense to auto-apply. And the ones that otherwise would be like, well, you don't want to auto-apply that because of X, Y, or Z. Because you want to have the certificate so that you could do whatever you're going to do with the certificate, right? So... if there's a particular steed, though, or mount that you're aware of, that you feel would benefit from getting that auto application done, you know, let me know. Maybe there's one we could do for sure. Oh, Feywild specifically? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Why? I don't know why that. Maybe there's something that, maybe there's something there I just am not sure on. As to why it wouldn't have been auto-applied. Otherwise, the answer, I would think the answer would be yes, if it makes sense, and there's not some kind of weird... well, we can't do it because of this X, Y, or Z because of how we distributed it. Unless there's something like that out there I don't know about. Should be fine. Okay, well maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe we didn't backfill it, and so just all the old X packs prior to Saltmarsh? Was it Saltmarsh, or was it, I don't know. Whichever X-Pack we debuted that tech with, maybe we just weren't able to back-apply it. Or would have had to manually do it. And so it would be a separate task. Yeah, so any X-Pack that is still expansion that's still delivering through an item that you have to use to populate in, then I think that would be an explanation as to why. As to why it is that way.
As you would say on this pathetic world, I guess the ruse is up. What have you done? I quite enjoyed the taste of their brains. Oh, I suppose you'll do as a replacement.
The true mastermind reveals itself. Now you just need to end this Illithid's life, and the chaos it caused along with it.
Do you really think you can defeat us?
Oh, I should have saved my Reezy cookie until my unyielding vanguard was ready. See if I could turn into a giganto snowman. Snow person.
You will make fine additions to our collection.
Alright, where is my... Where are you? There we are. Ah, there you are. It's like, where's my, there's a life caller here causing me grief. There we go. Alright, life caller sorted. Now, for the mender, there we go. Unfortunately, I only had 2 of the Rezia cookies on this character for the stream. I think most people know this, but if you don't, you can save your cookies from year to year. So you can pick up a cookie, and if you don't like it, just keep it in your cookie jar if you happen to have one or wherever. And then it'll change along with whatever changes next year. The property will just sort of auto-change.
Defeating me will not save your puny world.
I mean, it won't hurt. Vendor is down. Shield dude down. Got anyone else? Nope. Oh yes. You. Yeet. That's true. Well, So it is just... Oh, cool. That was close. Now I should be fine.
The others will continue our plan.
The Mind Flayer falls to the ground with a thud, and you hear a gasp of recognition and terror from Selimus at what she has done. By defeating the Mind Flayer, you freed Selimus and the other pilgrims under its control. Grateful Selimus resolves to repair the damage done here, and asks you to inform the Church of the Silver Flame of what has happened.
We increased the card drop rate a few weeks back there, so... Yeah, so I think what it does is it just puts the Snow Person graphic over your existing avatar, which is why you're able to still attack and really do everything as normal. You just have that look over it for, you know, what was it, a minute. So I don't think, but then I noticed that the size might change a bit, so maybe it would be different if you're in bear form rather than if you're not. We'll have to get a stack of those cookies and give it a shot, so... I thought, maybe to wrap things up here, that I would go to the marketplace and run through the new free Update 65 quest here to wrap up the show. This is a brand new quest, free for everyone, and I happened to do the voice work for it. This was the one that got made for the PAX East, related to the PAX East presentation we did earlier this year. And yeah, I just needed someone to do the VO for it, so I was able to do it. I know my volume is a little low on the volume, or on the DM narration, compared to normal. And there's a story behind that, which is that in episode 7 of The Joy of Deving of Bob Hess, which is the making of this dungeon, I heard my DM voice in the dungeon, and it was kind of boomy again. Like it is for the other quest I'm in. And it doesn't sound like that when I actually sent it to Bob. Like when you actually hear the OGG files that I sent him, and then you heard what was on that episode, it was like, well, there's some additional processing going on, clearly. So what I did is I cut back on it all. I didn't want to do any of the normalization or things like that I normally do. So that was pretty basic, you know, pretty much exactly as recorded into the microphone. And as a result, it doesn't have the compression and additional mastering that sort of, you know, squishes the track and then boosts it up. That's essentially what compression is. And that's the kind of thing you'll see when it's done from a professional recording studio, like what is normally used for the DM narration in our game. And so the reason it's a little quiet is it's essentially unboosted, unmastered. So.
We both know this will end in violence. Ready, soldier?
We do. could just code it so where we can trash the expansion pack thingy if we do not want it. You can currently do that. I do it all the time on my admin characters and such. And
Shards of glass litter the floor in front of you. The remains of a partially destroyed skylight up above. An agent of Arcanescent impatiently motions for you to speak to him.
so, yeah, I mean, you can delete it from your inventory. Just drag the thing off, just like you would this set of throwing daggers. Yoink. We won't get it back though.
Has been accidentally polymorphed into a dragon and escaped into the streets of Stormreach. You've been asked to lure the creature into an alley so it can be returned to its original form. Proceed through the dimension door and speak to Olivia Snow to learn more. Olivia asks you to obtain some nice milk to distract the cat turned dragon. There's a dairy merchant nearby who should be able to set you up. The group of pups appear to be speaking to a very large dragon. And figuring what's going on, the pups turn towards you with menace in their eyes.
It's weird hearing your own voice. How does it feel to hear my own voice when I'm playing the dungeon? It feels weird. At least I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, though, I have to say. You know, say whatever you want to say about my abilities and things like that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's not all like that, and it turned out pretty good. So. Okay, maybe it's on an admin thing. So I've on my own play account, I've never been in a position where I wanted to trash an X-Pack object. I guess I just haven't. Although because there's always something in it that I want. Whether it's you're right, I usually just drag each individual cosmetic or whatever that I'm sick of. So yeah, I guess I actually do know what you're talking about. But we usually do something that's not just a cosmetic, so that would explain why. Maybe you shouldn't do that.
You've obtained enough milk to distract the cat dragon. Next, you must locate a certain house Kenneth
Hello.
to acquire
Hello, cows.
for the trap.
Mirror. So so in case I didn't make myself clear, I realize I may have just kind of said things in the wrong order. On an admin, I often need to get rid of free grants that are on my character because I have no more inventory space, and I don't need that stuff because I'm on an admin. But on my play character, I guess I have never really felt the need to want to destroy my entire expansion gift. I'm with you on the cosmetics, and I think, you know, there is a general intention to offer as much of this through NPCs as we can, but our ability to necessarily retrofit them is going to kind of depend on the expansion and what was going on. I think some are easier to do than others.
Artificer tells you will deliver the apparatus to the requested location. Now to see if you can find a giant ball of yarn. Even if puffs rush forward to attack, someone must
It does make your snow person bigger. Nice. I do love my Undying Vanguard on this character.
The small red dragon hovers nearby, watching you intently.
No, it's okay. People can find it for themselves. Anyway, the point of the stream, if you take nothing away from this stream, you should just take away that you want the Rezia cookie.
The Weaver tells you the giant ball of yarn can be found in a storeroom to the south. As you reach out to examine the gigantic ball of yarn, you're distracted by shouts from behind the far wall. Your hand slips, and the ball begins to roll uncontrollably. It smashes through the wall. The entrance to the alleyway is blocked by a magical barrier. It seems to prevent living creatures from entering. You pull the lever and a beam of energy shoots through the nearby alley. The sound of flapping wings can be heard overhead. Your bright light beam has attracted the cat dragon's attention. As milk begins to pour out of the spigot, you hear something approaching, but it's not the cat dragon. It's a mimic surrounded by hired toughs. It seems to want to speak with you. The creature sputters curses at you, furious you've thwarted its...
Yeah, I'm okay with my DM voice work. Like it or not like it, it's totally fine. But I'm pretty okay with how it turned out. Is it better than Fast and Furious X? Yes. Is it better than Black Dog? Maybe not. I happened to see that movie, Fast and Furious X, on a plane coming back from California. And I'm kind of down for my dumb movies, but man, did I hate that movie. I think it might have been the worst movie I've seen, and I don't even know how long. It was so bad.
The mimic sputters curses at you as you defeat it. At the last moment, the creature teleports away, escaping certain death.
Yeah, thank you, George Fire, on the series. So that is going to be available long-term on our YouTube channel. So if you want to kind of see how this dungeon gets made, there's eight episodes, and it'll be available long-term. I got the playlist all set and ready to go.
The giant ball of yarn. Olivia appears and beckons for you to talk to her. Olivia explains that while the cat dragon's transformation was an accident, the other creatures were polymorphed as punishment for their very real transgressions.
Gold Festivult.
She assures you that she'll return the cat dragon to its previous form. The polymorphed cat lets out a low growl. This must be what it sounds like when a dragon tries to purr.